All right. So the correct answer to what do you call a snowman in July is we'll find out in about 9 months. But we'll accept a puddle is a good one. No man is a good one. I had a puddle. Water is a good one. But I took a quick walk outside this morning, and we are getting to the point where we won't have to worry about what a snowman is called in July for quite some time. I've been surprised at how nice the weather has been lately, so I think we are just about to get past that. I think we'll get started. I think if we're worried about Phil Mickelson, there are better golfers that we can worry about. All right, so let's get started with the LT. Yeah, at least one of you's teed off that you can't watch Mickelson tee off. Anyway, let's get into today's housekeeping. I don't have a lot for you today. We're still working out some of the details on the third exam. We will let you know in advance of homework 7. Hopefully we'll let you know. Well, the intent is to let you know Monday. So you don't have to, so you can use your late days or save them depending on what we decide on the exam 3, how we're going to manage that. But there are a couple of things that I was asked to pass along to you guys. Remember that homework 7 is not due tonight. Homework 7 is due a week from today. And then shortly thereafter, we'll kind of figure out how we're going to release exam 3 as a homework type activity. And we will let you know in advance of all of that what all the rules are going to be on exam 3. There are 2 links in this, just so you don't worry about that too much. I put the files here on Submittee. So the first one is effective remote learning strategies. And of course, they come up in a different window. Yeah, so effective remote learning strategies. It's dated summer 2020. So but they still apply for this fall, and I expect that they will apply in the spring as well. Just if you're having stress, if you're trying to get organized or something, go ahead and take a look at this. It will help you. Okay, I probably should have covered this in the, well, let me go through the rest of these. We also have some really good news. I'm sure everybody's going to be happy to know that the final exam schedules are out. You can get to the updated one on the registrar's page. I did put the current version on your I did put the current version on Submittee as well, so you can see the final exams is here. The effective remote learning strategies is here. They're both PDFs. I'm going to warn you that sometimes the final exam changes. Make sure you go to the page that I have marked so you can kind of see it. But from our standpoint, why is that not coming up? Huh. I'm going to have to reboot my system, but let's see. Okay, let's see if I can get to both of these now. Well, I'm beginning to think that I'm not going to be able to show these to you today. But that's okay. They are online. They are in our Submitty world. Where did they show up? Somewhere in here I have windows open with those in it, but I am not finding it easy to find them. So let's just see here. Anyway, we do have the effective remote learning strategies, and we have the final exam PDF. They're both available there in Submitty. Okay, under the course materials, effective remote learning strategies, final exams. Our final exam appears to be, assuming that I can open it up and see it myself, appears to be on. There we go. Let's see, CS1, CompSci 1 appears to be on Wednesday, December 16th from 6:30 to 9:30. Okay, so it's 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, it is uploaded for everybody. If for some reason my machine is, which is generally extremely well behaved, is just not showing me my upper monitor when I ask it to.
Professor Turner?
Yep.
In the comment section, people are saying 8 to 11, but are you saying, you said 6:30 to 9:30?
That's what I'm seeing.
Okay. And all times are Eastern, correct?
Yes. I don't know why that is not coming up right now. Okay, let me try one more thing to show you this. I'm getting kind of fed up with fighting my computer, but let's see what happens here. It's just been changed, by the way. Okay, the problem is that there we go. Okay. So right now it says we're just down on the fourth page. Right, and it says Computer Science 1, Wednesday, and it says 6:30 to 9:30. It's always a way to accomplish something. It's just how much pain you have to go through to get there. Right, 6:30 to 9:30, and that is PM. All right, so that may change again. It did just change. Ghostly Professor. There's an issue with light control. I'm still trying to work out all the ways these things go. All right, so let's come back to our housekeeping. What else do we have? I think that's it. There was one question that I wanted to hit up here. Let me see if it was caught. No. So let's talk about rainbow grades and curves. And we'll talk about it in context of my abysmally poor showing. If we go to Submitty and go to rainbow grades, okay, and you look at your exam grade, you'll see I didn't take any exams, so my exam grade's showing up really badly. But if you go to the exam grade or the test percentage, I'm sorry, the exam grade down here, or the test percentage, or the overall. Okay? This lowest A minus should be a 90%. Okay, your grades are going to show up whatever the raw score was. You know, whatever you got is what's going to show up, you know, here, and then it's going to be scaled to show up here, etc. Submittee is never going to apply a curve to your raw grades. It just displays your raw grades. The way curves are shown in Submittee is if you look at the lowest A, the lowest A, the lowest B, lowest A minus, lowest B minus, lowest C minus, and lowest D. These are the bottom ends of the range for those grades. And these are approximations. There's some things like at the current time, the exams, you know, the option to drop exam 1 is not implemented. The option to do 6%, 12%, 12% can't go in until we know which exam gets the 6%. So, you know, the dropping of the lecture exercises can't go in until of your four lowest lecture exercises can't go in, or five lowest, I guess it is, until we actually have them. So this is always an approximation. But what you want to look at is you want to look at the numbers for the lowest A minus, lowest B minus, lowest C minus, and lowest D. And you want to look at them for the overall, you want to look at them for the test percentage, and you want to look at them for the exam. And what you'll find out is, you know, for like exam 2. And what you'll find out is, right, perfect is perfect. Can't change that. An A minus would normally be, the lower bound for the A minus would be a 90, right? It's been moved down to an 87. That's the result of the curve. The lowest B minus would generally be an 80. That's been moved down to 71.5. Lowest C minus would generally be a 70. That's been moved down to 56. And the lowest D would generally be a 60. That's been moved down to 40. Okay, so the curve applied in exam 1 or exam 2 is really easy to see. Right, we've moved all of these numbers down, and you can compare them. Yeah, this is not exactly right. This should be an 80. This should be a 70, 60. But for this row where we actually implemented, that's because we didn't implement any curve, and Submittee's just doing a tentative one. Here we've put in an explicit curve, and that curve is applied to exam 2. It flows in right through these columns here. If you then look at the test percent, right, and you calculate 17.7 divided by 20, you'll find that this is a little bit below 90%. This is a little bit below 80%. This is a little bit below 70, a little bit below 60. So, you know, the curve is not going to be applied to your grade. The curve is applied, and you can do the same thing with the overall, by the way. The curve is not going to be applied to your grade. The curve is actually applied to the cutoffs for the different letter grades. I don't like that presentation either, but it's the way Submittee does it. So that's, you know, it has been applied. You can see where you're falling, but you know, it's not as explicit as maybe as giving you you know, an actual add-on to your current grade. Okay. And yes, please start on homework 7. Yeah, please start on homework 7. You know, it's worth doing. It's worth doing well. It's worth twice the points. And we are giving you extra time. Now, I know for some of you that means that it's just time when you didn't have to work on it this week and you could work on your other classes. You know, we understand that, but it's not a trivial assignment. It's going to take you a little bit of time, so make sure you actually do it. All right. Any other questions before we get going? Okay. I'm going to kill this. I'm going to kill this. This is the page where you can always find the final exam schedule, or at least after they've released it. I'm going to kill that. We're now in live programming mode. We don't want to be there. We want to be on. This I can put away. Somewhere in here, I actually have the meeting set, the day set up. All right. I want to go back to lecture